Good afternoon. I'd like to introduce you to this afternoon's next speaker, Ken Pimentel from Epic Games. He's the AEC Strategic Business Development Manager at the company that we all know produces Unreal. Hi, Ken.
Hey there, Martin.
So first, Epic Games got serious about AEC in 2018. And when AEC Magazine interviewed Mark Petit, the general manager, he spoke about the ambition for Unreal Engine to become a hub for all AEC data throughout the design process and beyond. The idea is that Unreal Engine wouldn't just be for visualization, which is how we probably see it historically, but for engineering data as well, to support both engineering and aesthetic design decision-making. And ultimately, it's seen that Unreal will actually act as an aggregation platform in the AEC space. So to really sort of make this work, obviously Unreal Engine needs to become integrated into the BIM process and to make really good use of the BIM object data. So how far along have you got to actually delivering on the vision of integrating Unreal into the BIM workflow?
Yeah, in the entirety of it. I mean, it's a little over a year, and what a year it's been since I presented on stage there in London with you. So it's exciting just to see how far we've come. I think a lot of things have come together quickly, and what we want to do is just show you some of this. So the conversations that we have with customers focuses on these kinds of bubbles of capability. And of course, virtual collaboration is a hot thing, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk more about that. But there's a lot of places that we're seeing Unreal adopted. And if we look at the workflow, it's progressed. We've got a solid lineup of Datasmith support for different tools. And there's really three components here. The first are the things that we do. So for example, we're adding Navisworks support in 426, which is just in previews right now. So people can get to take their Navisworks data and bring it into through Datasmith into Unreal, and into Twinmotion. So we develop a bunch of these. There's a bunch of partners that have built Datasmith export into their products. So Safe Software has their FME product. That's part of their offering. So you can wire up Datasmith generation into that. Esri City Engine, of course, is the first, actually our very first Datasmith supporter. Bentley Synchro Pro, they've given me the okay to announce support for Datasmith.
That's great.
In that coming up. ArchiCAD has produced a Datasmith export mechanism. So, and there's many more coming. This is just ones I can talk about publicly. On the other end, there are partners that are making connections directly into Unreal. So for example, Cesium, that's a GIS tool that brings worlds that are geo-located, geo-specific, geo-referenced worlds into Unreal Engine directly through a streaming process. Esri's ArcGIS Online, the world's foremost GIS tool, is announced they're doing something similar. Their beta just starts in, I think, next week for that. So it lets you connect in real time all the world of GIS with all the world of Unreal. Sin2, people may not have heard of it, but it's a point cloud platform for processing your data. It'll stream into Unreal. Everyone knows Rhino. Rhino Inside for Unreal is a project that's out there that people are playing with to figure out how to put Rhino directly into Unreal. And then some you may or may not be familiar with, but Bureau Happold has built this open source free framework for interchange called BHOM. and they're a big user of Unreal. So that's tied into that. It's all free. And Speckle, we're getting behind Speckle in supporting them. There's already a beta of an Unreal Bridge, and there's more work coming there. So, it's just popping up everywhere, this idea of how do I connect my data, my engineering data, my design data, my GIS data, and bring it into Unreal. One of our initiatives is to combine Datasmith with something in Twinmotion called Direct Link. So Direct Link, it gives you a kind of a real-time connection between, let's say, Revit and Twinmotion. You have this live link that you can hit sync, and it'll push the changes from Revit over to Twinmotion in a non-destructive way. We're going to combine that with Datasmith, and we're in 426 coming out right now in Unreal. You'll see the first results of that, where Revit has this ability to form a live direct link with Unreal Engine. So you could be working in Revit and you say sync, it'll update in Unreal.
And it's only
So,
going to exchange the new info.
Yeah.
Refresh the whole model.
Yes. So this is fundamentally moving away from a static workflow, which has its purposes, but to give you also a connected workflow, to allow you to basically connect your tools directly to Twinmotion or Unreal. So the future, if we look at what's coming, imagine if you could have all these different apps, all of your design tools emitting a stream that then goes into Twinmotion or Unreal. And so that's what is coming. That's something we're working on. We see a future where you'll have peer-to-peer streaming, no need for a server. You'll just make these connections and be able to flow your data downstream into Unreal or Twinmotion. So Twinmotion and Unreal will have the same Datasmith capabilities. That's something else we're evolving towards, where one is identical to the others essentially in terms of what data sources what data emitters you can connect to, and we're going to share that basically aggregation engine in both products.
Let me get this straight. You're not just talking about sending data from one application into Twinmotion or Unreal. You could have multiple. So you could have a building designed in ArchiCAD with GIS data from Esri, and all that is streaming simultaneously into the Unreal or Twinmotion solutions.
That's the promise of it. As long as a partner has developed the Datasmith interface, they can, when we give them the capability, they'll be able to upgrade that to this direct link. So anybody that's producing Datasmith files has this possibility of also enabling this connected workflow. So it's very exciting for us to see that happen.
Wow, that's incredible. All right, okay. So obviously, I think we spoke when COVID hit, and we were talking about how busy you were, even though it was the downtime. It was around that time where every architectural practice had to try and work out how to work remotely with their own teams and clients. And you mentioned collaboration was something that was very hot topic for people to discuss with you, what you can do. Now, I have never played Fortnite because I feel I would be addicted to it, so I have avoided it. But with Fortnite, I know Epic Games has developed a whole load of collaboration technology for people to be in the same environment and work together. So I'm wondering, how's some of that technology working its way into the AEC frameworks of Unreal? Is this something you can tell us?
Yes. So we were early on, we had a collaborative template that we made available for free, and it allowed people to basically drop their assets into Unreal Engine and start collaborating. So we've enhanced that, we've improved upon it. So people still have that option, but they also have a whole bunch of other options now. So Thea is just releasing in beta what they call their big room. And this allows anyone to, it's a template approach. So it allows customers to bring their own data into Big Room. It's all blueprint.
Yeah.
So customers can make all the changes. If they don't want, like how the tool works one way, they can change it to work another way. So it's an exciting, this is kind of the future of collaboration, especially when we have the restrictions that we have on ourselves. There's also the idea of pixel streaming. So how do you get a stakeholder to experience your project when it might require a GPU? Maybe they don't have one, or they don't have a powerful enough one. This is a demonstration of a Unreal Engine application up on a cloud. It's using the GPU on the cloud, and it's just doing a video stream. It'll stream to any device. So you can look at this on a browser. You can interact with it. It's not just for looking, it's for interaction also. So you have all these options that you have with a desktop, but you can deploy it via the cloud.
Wow. Okay.
So we're seeing lots of interest in that. That's why one of the reasons I brought it up is that this is one of the more popular things people are exploring. And then we can announce on today that there's a new thing that we've built. It's called Twinmotion Presenter Cloud. It's in beta, and then the idea is that customers working in Twinmotion will be able to publish to a GPU cloud. They'll get back a URL that then they can share with their stakeholders or collaborators, and that's all they need. That collaborator can be looking at Twinmotion running on their device, whatever it be, mobile, tablet, whatever. It's a video stream using our pixel streaming tech to enable that.
So is it how fast can it stream? Is this something that could power some VR headsets, or you're not really going to?
No, it's more of a desktop experience, interactive desktop experience.
Do you think we'll ever get to the stage where you can get that VR live?
NVIDIA's experimenting with that. They have Cloud XR, so they've launched. That's in beta right now, I believe, and that I've heard good things about it. Where it could have a future where you have a connected capability, and you just put your headset on and you log in, and it's all streamed to you. So that is nearer than you might think.
So one of the hot topics that we're covering all the time is digital twins. Data is the most important part of any digital twin. The actual geometry itself is perhaps secondary. So how is the Unreal platform able to work with complex databases, and how can IoT and other real-time information be fed into the system?
Yeah, I think we're seeing enormous interest around it. We did some of your viewers might have seen the B1M video that was put out. It has roughly 6 million impressions. Basically, the idea is once you have this interactive platform and you have C++ APIs, it's fairly straightforward for a programmer to bring in data from any source. So we've seen an explosion of applications of all different scales. One of the ones, the B1M video covers the work being done at 51 World in China. It's amazing the scale of the projects they're tackling. It's everything from city scale to building scale. And they're exploring, like, how do you represent data? What kinds of interfaces are important? And they've been doing this for the last 5 years. So they're probably one of the more sophisticated deployers of digital twins, where there's, you know, a 3D world makes sense. So, like, here's all of Shanghai in Unreal. I mean, the capabilities of Unreal to bring in massive data sets like this is just phenomenal. And here they're using pixel streaming to bring that complex experience onto a tablet. So they're showing how it can all come together. So I think expect a lot of exciting, more stories. We're working on an effort to get out a little development template for people that want to start playing with this, that helps them navigate building a digital twin for themselves.
And you're not talking about a digital twin of a building, you're talking about cities scale as well, which is more impressive. Rather than dealing with the small problem, you're dealing with the much bigger one.
I'd say there's more interest at the city scale than the building scale right now. I think the cities are driving a lot of the interest, or the town councils driving a lot of the interest, because they see it as a simple interface into this complex world of their town.
Yeah. Especially countries like Singapore, who have got a very strong digital outlook. Obviously China. We need to start seeing some European countries. I know Helsinki's got a very good one.
No, but the UK, there's initiatives, you know, there's Digitally Built Britain. There's lots of happening here. There are town councils looking at it. We've been approached to be part of teams on them. So it's happening.
It's happening. Great. So last year you acquired Twinmotion, and surprised us all. You now have a really sort of impressive end-to-end real-time viz tool of architectural components, with obviously the main Unreal Engine. But the one criticism is that Unreal itself is quite a very complex product to master. It can do a lot. So how can you make the technology more accessible to users? And will Twinmotion grow in capability? Will you rely on third parties to build on top of it? Or is there going to be a light version of the Unreal Engine?
So there's, we're talking about different things here. One of it is the, what happened. So a year ago, we acquired Twinmotion, put out a new version of it. And this is a recent, this survey was just finished in the last month. So these results are up on the website. And basically what we see is Unreal and Twinmotion are the tools people are looking at for the future. So that's very encouraging to us, that our investment is getting paid back. So that's hard data of these are people that care about pixels, and they've chosen our tools. These are examples of various customers pushing what's possible in Unreal. I mean, for interiors, look, using NVIDIA's RTX GPUs, you now can have real-time quality at offline, basic real-time performance at offline quality. So there's less and less of a trade-off you have to make to take advantage of the best imagery. And this is transforming processes, because if you're in traditional ArchViz, if you have to produce an animation, you have to book time and lock down a project. You can't keep developing that project up to the very moment you get in front of the stakeholder. So if your competitor can iterate on their project faster than you because they're using real-time technologies, they're going to be able to explore more possibilities than you can based on a slower process. So that's something that's exciting. I think you were also asking about Twinmotion, and let me jump into that a little bit. So, 500,000 registered users at this point, blew away what we kind of were expecting. And the projects that are being produced these are all straight out of Twinmotion. There's no games being played in other post-processing tools. But the point is that, we can handle scale. It isn't limited to small projects. Big projects can be taken on. There's a video of this whole city in Twinmotion in Australia, which we're working on to promote. So Twinmotion boundaries are expanding, but its ease of use needs to be maintained. And where's it going? Well, in 426, Unreal Engine 426, for the first time, you'll be able to start a project in Twinmotion and finish it in Unreal. And this really opens up, the black box. So many tools that firms use to produce visuals are kind of black box. They can't get data out of it. They can put data in, but they can't really get data out of it. And here, for the first time, we really are breaking that open by letting people fully leverage that ease of use, but then take it wherever their imagination takes them in Unreal.
Cool. So we've talked a little bit about desktop rendering, cloud rendering. I mentioned virtual reality on the way, but we haven't really talked about augmented reality. Is there anything that you're working on that space for mixed reality?
Yeah, so there's a range of ways that you might want to engage a stakeholder. I think there's, we call it XR, that's kind of the term these days. And so just a snapshot, you want to show someone how to visualize, turn their construction site into the finished building, and so AR can give you that window into the future. And what we just added was support for Azure spatial anchors in 426. So you can register your experience to the physical world. And then when you go out on site, it just snaps to that alignment. And now you're seeing the virtual world laid correctly on top of the physical world. So definitely big support for that. There's other things on network shared spaces. There's a lot of work we're doing around XR. People are exploring, what's possible in XR. Here's a mixed reality where you combine 3D printed buildings, white buildings with laser projection, and have it all in real time. So driven by Unreal Engine. So in real time, you can bring in data and have it update and show on this kind of a mixed environment, mixed reality environment. And, for collaboration with people that are not sophisticated with technology, this is kind of the ultimate expression of it, where you can, it's right in front of you and it can transform into telling a different story depending upon the conversation. So we love it when we see people doing innovative things like that.
So last October in London, you showed some sort of preliminary technology, and one of the things you mentioned was point clouds. Obviously, point clouds is actually an important part of digital twins, the as-built versus the design to be built. How's point cloud development come along in Unreal?
I think the best way to talk about it is to show it. We just produced this video of this site. It's what you're seeing is not mesh data. it is 15 billion points at 0.5 millimeter scan density. It's a point cloud, and it's in Unreal Engine. The work they did scanning this site is very hard, very difficult to do. Most scans are not this dense, but if you do the scan properly, you can see what you can get from it. So when Unreal, you get the chance, the decision you make is, do I want to show this at ultimate quality, or do I want to set a frame rate and degrade things so that I can move around the point cloud? So you have that control, complete control over quality versus frame rate, and you can combine that with CAD data to get whatever kind of experience that you're looking for.
Do you actually turn point clouds into meshes, or is that?
No, well, we do, we don't. We do allow you to produce a collision mesh from the point cloud using our tools. That gives you the ability to walk around in a point cloud and not fall through the floor if you wanted collisions to experience the building like you were walking around it. So right now, it's been mostly a focus on handling the massive data sets and figuring out the best ways to present them. So a lot of tweaks to the visual algorithms we're using to produce those kind of imagery.
That's cool. So before we leave, we've got one last question, which I'd like to sort of go to a bit of depth. So we've all heard of Epic mega grants. Loads of companies seem to be getting them. So kind of interested in Epic's approach to software development with partners and mega grants, and would like to know a little bit more about what you've funded and what they'll do for Unreal Engine and its customers.
Yes, so the mega grants program has been very successful. We've seen I would say in the AEC space itself, there's probably 20 mega grants working their way through. There are things like Tridify in Finland that has a BIM collaboration tool. They've just announced last week they built their Unreal Engine integration. It's funded the work with the Synchro Pro. It is building bridges in all sorts of places so that in another 6 months, I would guess, we're going to be able to show such a connected workflow to tools that help our users across the architecture, engineering, and construction space. So it's not just about architecture, it's also very much about engineering, very much about construction. And those mega grants will help show the way to the future for people interested in applying real-time technology. And we encourage everyone to go make a proposal for AEC. So this is not limited in any way. If you have a really good idea, we're looking for innovation. We're also looking for social benefits. So if you think you have a great idea, please pursue that.
What holes do you think you currently have? So it'd be helpful if you could give an idea of which areas you're specifically interested in at the moment that you don't really have that many developers working with you on.
I think if I give people guidance around mega grants, I think the guidance I'd give them is that try to coordinate with us, the Epic AEC team, so get in touch with us so that we can help you frame out. We're aware of what mega grants are coming through, and there's probably no reason for two of the same thing. So we're trying to help people get their mega grants. So we're very active in that. We just did one for UCL and Foster and Partner. It's for exploring the disadvantage, what the experience is of design. So put somebody who has, let's say, some sight disability, put them using VR, put the architect into that so that they experience design through the eyes of someone that has limitations.
Okay.
So that's a great example of where, it's going to be a benefit for everyone. It's going to be open source. It's going to be something people can build on top of.
Well, thanks for talking this afternoon, Ken. And I look forward to, I think you've got an event soon, haven't you, coming up?
I've lost track of the events.
I think there's an event in October. I'll find out. Anyway,
Yes.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Martin. It's a pleasure always to talk to your people. Your audience is always on top of things, looking for pushing into the future. We had many great conversations coming out of NXTBLD last year, and we'll certainly be there in the future.
Next year, yes. Cheers.
Cheers.